this meeting order. We may be a few minutes late. They're not on? Well,
I think it must be.
I've already jinxed it. How about now? Working now? All right. Ask you please to rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the pledge of the flag. Father, again, we thank you for this another opportunity to come together to do the business of this great county. We pray for your wisdom and your guidance in everything that we deliberate and everything that decisions are made on this evening. And we thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, first item, consideration of a resolution to approve our agenda. Any additions, corrections, anyone knows of? Motion?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kiefer, second by Commissioner Loper. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Next item, consideration to approve the minutes for the January 19, 2016 regular commissioners meeting and the minutes of the January 24, 2016 retreat.
I saw, I guess there's a typo in there where we reversed 4 and 5 last week on our agenda. In there they got the reserve instead of reverse.
Okay,
You
What I'm talking about,
I'll fix
that's the only thing I saw was wrong.
All right, so let's take these one at a time, please. Let's do the Board of Commissioners meeting first. Any other corrections or omissions, changes? All right. Motion, please.
Make a motion to approve the Board of Commissioners meeting dated January 19th, 2016.
Uh,
No?
With the
Wanted to
correction.
change.
With the correction.
Oh.
Correct.
With the correction.
spelling
Commissioner
correction.
Loper mentioned.
I make a motion to approve the January 19th, 2016 with agenda approval where it changed from reserve, it's supposed to be reverse, and they got a reserve when we changed the 4th and the 5th items last week, 2 weeks ago.
I'll second
Have a second. Motion by Commissioner Loper, second by Commissioner Floyd. All in favor?
that.
Any opposed? So carried. All right, as to the retreat minutes. Any corrections or additions?
Go ahead, Forrest.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from our retreat.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Floyd, second by Commissioner Loper to approve as written. All in favor? Any opposed? So carried. Should be noted that public comment should be limited to our agenda items only, and the documents from this meeting, as are all meetings, are located in the clerk's office and on the Board of Commissioners website. We have one item on our consent agenda. That is consideration to approve continuation of the license agreement with Verizon Wireless for site 133745 being in Rankin. Have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Loper, second by Commissioner Floyd. All in favor? None opposed? So carried. First item of new business, consideration to approve documents to serve as physical agent for the Family Connection Commission Incorporated.
Yes, sir. Each year, for as long as I can remember anyway, we have served as fiscal agent for Family Connection. This is the first step in a contract that we'll receive in several months regarding the funding for that particular venue. And so we ask for your approval. We have attached all the documents that come from the state regarding this issue and request the board's approval to act as the fiscal agent for them.
All right. Any questions, comments from the board? Motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 1.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Loper, second by Commissioner Kiefer. All in favor? Any opposed? So carried. All right, next item, consideration to approve the budget calendar for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2017.
Yes, sir. For the last few years, we have formalized this budget calendar with the Board of Commissioners, as y'all take part in most of those different meetings with the department heads and so forth. We discussed this at the retreat as far as the outline and continuing as we did the prior year. There is one correction that I noticed when I was putting it on my calendar. If you will look midway down the page, you will see that it says 415 meeting of staff budget. Then it says 416 through 41. That should read through 51.
Let me back it up, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
Any other changes that you've made?
No, sir, I believe that's it. We generally do have a department head meeting at first to go over and explain the budget. And this year we did a little bit different venue. We basically had a breakfast that morning, simply informing them that the budget stuff was to come, but that we had to approve this calendar with y'all. So we may still have that, and we'll inform all of you if we do so.
So the January 13th meeting has not been done?
January 13th is done, but not in the same venue as we usually do, which is more of an explanation and sending out of sheets and so forth. We just simply informed them that we were getting this approved by y'all.
So should there be another date added in there?
Yes, sir, and that's what I was saying. If we do that, rather than doing it verbally or over the phone, we will make sure that y'all are aware of that date.
And this doesn't include the adoption of the village, it's
No, sir, we do a separate, we do two other calendars. We do one for the millage, which we'll bring to you this next, on the next agenda, and then we do one for the close of the year end.
All right. So I need a motion to approve this if the board so desires with that one change. Instead of 416 to 41, that should read till 5/1/2016 for the commissioner preliminary meetings with selected budgets and departments. With full knowledge, as John said, that there probably will be another meeting added in there for
Yes, sir.
actual distribution of the form.
And as these dates change, we will make sure you're updated, either in committee reports or through the clerk.
I don't think the main thing is it shows that there is a plan for how to get the budget in on time.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
The whole purpose.
With hopefully a little bit of time to spare.
Gotcha. Any other questions, comments? Motion?
make a motion to approve the budget calendar with the noted correction on the date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kiefer, second by Commissioner DeLoach. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Next item, consideration to approve funding for drainage improvements along John Glenn Drive and Westwood subdivision.
I think we've talked about this on a couple of different occasions. The last week brought it up, staff was going to go out and, I guess, verify the previous data that was prepared by Public Works and looked for any other alternatives, and we have done so and basically found the same thing that Public Works did. It's mainly caused, I guess, by a combination of flat slope and drainage pipes that were installed not exactly correctly, that are varying in height, that are causing water to stand in these ditches. You're presented with two different options here, one of which is just taking the pipes out from underneath the driveways and setting them back at the correct grade. The other one is piping the entire ditch solid all the way down. And I think that option mainly came from Ms. Jones's, not Commissioner Jones, Ms. Justina Jones's request that that be done. We've priced it both ways, and staff will do whatever y'all want us to do. Doesn't really matter to me.
Is the issue similar to Green Drive?
Green Drive had structural issues, the pipe weren't big enough. These are not issues of the pipes not being big enough. It's a matter of between a flat slope and the driveways are positioned high, the downstream pipes are higher in a lot of instances. It's a 0.2% if you go from the top to the bottom. And to put that in something y'all understand, in 100 feet, that's a little over 2 inches is what it falls from the top to the bottom. And on paper, we can make it drain, but in the field, it's kind of difficult to grade. A little over 2 inches and 100 foot is what it comes down to. So again, staff has no emotional connection to this. We'll do whatever y'all want us to do.
Bottom line is, the one on Green Drive was backing water up into yards and into houses. This is standing water in ditches. And the best that I can ascertain is, at no time, except that immediately after a rain event, and water's going to stand more. But these pipes, at no point is there more than probably 3 inches or less that is left standing in the ditches. Ditches were designed, in my opinion, I'm not an engineer, but that's what the ditches were designed for water retention. And in my opinion, we do not have the money, and this does not necessitate what Green Drive did. I would not be in favor of doing it.
Can I speak on that real quick? As far as tonight goes, I think that how many commissioners have actually looked at it? As far as tonight goes, I think that what we need to do is table it for the next meeting. At least I did have somebody look at it that gave some input about some additional things, and I understand about everything you said. I also understand it may not be the same as Green Drive, and we may not have the money to put in it. But it does look like to me that the ditches are in serious need of cleaning. I've got pictures of all of them. When you start at one roadway and all of that ditch holds water all the way to wherever, but then the ones prior to that do not, there's some kind of problem also. I just think it needs to be looked at a little bit further, and I'd like to get with staff and give them some additional information, see if it makes any difference or not, if we can find a justifiable way. This doesn't just affect this one house, and that's kind of the point. If it just affected one house and to spend that kind of money, but it does affect a lot of citizens. And the water standing excess, the ditch is full, it's not just 3 or 4 inches, it's full, and it didn't just rain. So if we could table it, I think that would be, I don't see any harm in that, and we may come to some kind of better solution, or we may not, but I'd like to table it if everybody's okay with that.
I haven't put it in. I'm good with that.
That's your motion?
I'd like to table this item. For time's sake, should I table it to the first meeting in March? Probably, it's 2 days isn't enough.
So,
Date?
March 1st.
March 1st.
Motion on the floor to table this item to March 1st meeting. I have a motion by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Deloach. All in favor? Any opposed? So carried. Next item, consideration to approve a contract with Michael Baker International to conduct a value engineering services for Effingham Parkway.
Value engineering on construction projects is a federal mandate as well as state. State DOT has the same requirements as the federal highway. Of any project over $50 million, had a value engineering study done to it. That cost includes all phases of, PD right-of-way construction, reimbursable utility. Right now, the Effingham Parkway project is $51.94 million, including all of those phases. It's, like 46 for the construction, but when you include PD and reimbursable utilities, it gets up a little over 51. So by state and federal law, we're required to do a VE study. We have tried to put this off a little bit until we more nail down some of our bridge plans, but GDOT is insisting that we do it now. So anyhow, they contacted us. The way that GDOT does that is they select the engineer. We don't have a choice in this. They pick one out of their qualified consultants, and they send them to us. That's Michael Baker International. The scopes in here is a 3.5-day project where they basically take a team of people in, they review what you have, and they look for ways to save money. Do it on the front end. With that being said, you have a contract here, it's $47,620 for those services. We don't get an option to shop those. We are provided that consultant. There's nothing I can do about that as far as a consultant. And we are required by law to do this stuff.
In other words, you want our $44 million, this is what you're going to do to get it.
Yes.
We'll do it.
Motion? Give me that motion, man.
Make a motion to approve staff recommendations. Alderman Owen.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Logan.
I needed that last.
Anytime I
Second by Commissioner Keith.
I'm sorry.
That's all in favor? None opposed? It is interesting though, if you go down these item by items, it's how many days of parking, I don't know how they're going to be parking the cars and driving them down here, but it's.
And they're all out of town, so it's all about per diem and flights.
You got it.
It's ridiculous.
Like you say, you don't have a choice. It could have been 60-something thousand, just as easy. All right.
Pay to play.
Say something, Mr. Jack?
No, sir.
All right. I didn't want to leave you out there. Next item, consideration to approve the position of Human Resources Director as ACCG-IRMA HR Helpline Liaison.
You got it. ACCG has implemented a piece into the ACCG Property and Liability Program, which is called ACCG-IRMA. The service will provide expert legal counsel on employment law at no additional cost to counties and county-related authorities. Staff is recommending that the position of Human Resources Director be appointed as that liaison.
I concur with that. The only thing that I don't know is how you do this. If HR has a question, or do they have direct access, or do they call Lee and then Lee calls them to get their side of it?
Well, if we're appointing them as liaison, they have direct contact
They
with
do.
the attorney firm.
No question. Motion?
Make a motion to approve Alderman Owen.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lover, second by Commissioner Deloach. All in favor? None opposed? So carried. All right. Y'all realize what we have done?
Yes.
That's these towns right here.
Do we realize what we have done?
That's not working.
All right. Now, do we need an executive session? Okay. Not. So let's get staff reports out of the way. With Toss knowing, and he's already been told how quickly we did this last meeting when he wasn't here. So,
We're gonna be even quicker tonight.
Good, good.
what you got, sir?
On your actual sheet up here, you got your normal animal control EMS reports. Board of Assessors is in need of 2 appointments that are expiring in March. You'll have an email there, so I think that the email said that Brad Green was willing to serve again. It did not say whether or not Stephanie, Ms. Canam was willing to serve again or not. I don't know what that means.
She was supposed to already send in her resignation because she has a job at Savannah, she can't.
Okay, so she is not, so okay.
So, I got somebody to take place whenever she resigns.
Okay. Well, March is when this
Okay.
says, so Mr. Green's willing to do it again. You got somebody from Ms. Ganand, and we just can't get changed in.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't
Board of
listening.
Assessors, I saw you weren't listening to it.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
give it to Stephanie so we can get it on our agenda for
Yeah,
next
we'll
week.
need to get it done at the next meeting.
All right. I'll call her to make sure she don't resign
Yeah,
anyway.
end of this week, if at all possible.
All right.
See, Savannah, we've talked about this, I'm just leaving on there to remind y'all, they're gonna be doing their upgrades here in the next, I don't think they've started yet, so we haven't received the phone calls. They said it'd be into January 1st of February, so any day now. District days at the Capitol still on to that, and that's not, interested Republic, quarterly trash pickup. Have y'all made any progress? Do you need staff to do anything on that as far as coordinating those pickups, or y'all got it under control? I think at the last meeting we talked about each commissioner meeting with Republic and scheduling those. Do you need staff to do anything in?
Yeah, there's been some changes at Republic, or about to be some changes, I think.
He said we could still schedule those though.
Do what now?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, John, I'm talking about the contact,
Yes.
so I did not follow through, I wasn't.
And that's fine, I'm just offering. If you need us to do anything, we will. If you got it, that's fine too. And you have a thank you letter in there, from this,
I don't know what he said the last day was, he did say he was leaving, but he
It was,
he said,
and-
yeah.
In the conversation, I forgot to schedule this.
He said we could still go ahead and do them, they're in our contract, so.
Ms. Bevel's got your thank you letter. Very quickly, things that are not on there. Groundbreaking ceremony for the new recreation facility, we need to get that going pretty soon, I think. Y'all got any ideas, or you want us to just put something together and get with y'all time that are better? 1st of March or so, maybe, give a couple weeks notice. The development manual that we talked about in Atlanta, do y'all want me to just put that on the agenda for y'all's consideration, or do you want to start having stakeholder workshops first before we do it? Invite developers, engineers, would y'all prefer to do that step prior to putting it on the agenda? So you don't get yelled at later for not doing it? You want to think about that? The railroad crossing at Goshen,
Can I ask you, I'm sorry, have we not already had those in the past? And it's just, no, never had.
not on that one, it's been to you all once, and we only got through about half the manual a year or so ago. And then we talked about it in Atlanta, but other than that, we have not invited the public to any sort of meeting on that manual.
You know, it may be good to have a workshop type meeting, let everybody know, that the stakeholders know, and for us to actually have a time to go through that. Because it's going to be detailed and lengthy.
It will, I think it would be beneficial to do that. And then if you want to invite stakeholders, you want to just send it out and ask for comments by a certain day, you want a public meeting, do y'all want to be involved in that? How do you want to?
Well, even just notifying, like, home builders of Savannah, because if it's a licensed builder, has to, go through there, just making them aware to let their membership know, when we're gonna have it, would be a benefit.
I think it would be beneficial to do, because I think it's going to save issues down the road if somebody points out an obvious issue
Yeah.
that was a mistake or oversight.
You can sit there, you can present it page by page, item by item, and we can go through it, and anybody's got the opportunity to.
But you all want to do it, y'all want to do it ahead of one of y'all's meetings as like a workshop, or you want a special night for that, or? Because I would send it out.
Or just have it and us be there just as, A regular, not a regular organized meeting.
You mean like the,
I think more like the DOT's public PIOHs, kind of just,
or maybe like the planning and zoning, they can.
yeah.
Yeah, it's probably more beneficial we send it out to all those people, let them read it, because you can't digest 100 and something pages as you're sitting there, and then they can come with questions that night and we can discuss it. I mean, I'm sure there's things that we inadvertently left out of there, I'm quite sure of that, so feedback will be helpful.
And there's some things that's got to be there, and they're just gonna have to understand that to fulfill federal and state mandates.
Yes.
Then we'll have a chance to, after they make their comments, and we'll have a chance to figure out exactly what we're gonna do. We've heard all the comments from everybody.
That's correct, and then you may want to take things out or add things to it, so, okay, let me work on doing that, and I think it'll be beneficial, I think it'll save us some,
Hurry down the road.
If we get participation in that.
yeah.
Or we give them a chance.
Yeah.
Even if you're notified,
I agree.
when they come complain, you're like,
That's right. If they don't, they got proper notice, and that's, we can't help that. The railroad track on Goshen, if y'all have ridden over it, you know that it didn't turn out exactly how we envisioned that. We've talked with the contractor, and of course, there's always the, well, it was this, it was that. What I kind of think happened is he had a backhoe, and he was spreading out the backhoe. It was not built like it was supposed to be. There's some things that didn't happen. He's given us two options at this point. His contract with CSX called for 6 foot from the rail. We went out 23 foot beyond that for 29 foot. He's offered to come back and just take everything out beyond 6 feet, and he builds nothing. That's option number one. Option number two is we negotiated the price, and he thinks $6,000 instead of the 15 that he came up with, and he'll leave it alone. We tried to say, okay, well, that's fine, but we want it fixed. And he said he couldn't do that because of the time. And he's following a crew around with CSX as they go to these rails, so he can't come back.
The problem is too, the crossing itself, that crossing was a good crossing. They had the concrete flat. Now you've got a rail, you got a dip, you got a hump of asphalt in between the trains.
And it's 2 foot higher than Durham Road. I mean, it needs to come back a lot farther, and it needs to come on into Golden. And then the next question I asked Wes to call CSX and find out, okay, we hate it, what do we need to do to fix it? And he hadn't got on the phone yet. So he sent him an email and left a message. We'll try to get that. But, and I don't know that we have to give you an answer today, but my only concern of going back to the 6 foot mark is all that hump is gonna come from 29 foot to 6 feet. It's gonna be even worse.
It's gonna even get worse.
It's not what we need. I just, whatever, however you want to proceed, it's not at all like it should have been.
it is better than it was, you don't feel like it's better than it was?
No, it's worse now than it was before they started.
Yeah, they did 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, it's not as good as it should have been.
Right.
But it's probably better than it will be if we cut it back to 6 feet. Because that same amount of rise is going to happen just over 6 feet instead of 29 feet. It's going to be even more abrupt.
Well, I can tell you, when I got there, one truck was leaving. So I presume that was the first truck of asphalt on the Hot Wheel side.
Mhm.
There was another truck backing up there, dumping on the other side. There was no milling machine. There was no,
He didn't have a, I know, he did it with a backhoe. I can tell you that from looking at it, that's what he did.
that's exactly.
It's not as good as it could be, for
It's
sure.
not, that's right.
But
It's not a brand new
just about
car.
the price,
Used
it's
to be
that
a-
bringing the milling machine.
That's right.
It's a longer ramp now.
Exactly.
So again, we just need to give him an answer one way or the other. I mean, pull it back, or we want to leave it
We don't.
and just reduce the price, and we will continue to work on a more permanent fix of it. But we did tell him, no, we just forget about it, we'll do something else on the rest of them as they rate them, because if that's what he's going to do, it's not helping the city.
Has it been determined how close can we get?
Not till we get him on by ask West to get that answer. When we get CSX on the phone, that's what he's going to ask.
Because if it's 6 feet, then,
We should be, yeah.
but the crossing itself is not as good as it was before they dug it up and redid it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it had a nice
It's
flat.
across the rail.
And he's been doing good work for the rail company, right?
Sir,
He's been doing the work for the rail company.
he's doing it for CSX.
And his objective is totally different than our objective.
Well, his agenda was to come down 6 feet, that's it, just kill it down over 6 feet, and most of them are 2 feet. They're raising the rail a little bit, putting new ballast under it, and I think they raised that one 3 inches. And it's already high, so it came up, and they're taking that difference out. But the problem is when it's already 2 foot above, you're killing it out. 3 inches could come over 6 feet, but what it is, it will not, so.
For the asphalt that he would reclaim to go to that 6 feet back, he said if he goes to 6 feet, he'll take everything else out and bill us nothing. His labor to go and take that out
Will be more than,
more than he can recover.
understand.
I mean,
Understand, and that's why we asked the question, look, it's already there, well, can we just fix it, can we make it right? And again, I don't think it was a no, I don't like y'all, he can't because he's following this CSX crew around and he has to stay on their schedule.
then how in the world's he got time to come back and take it up?
I don't know. I mean, it's a valid question, and how's he gonna do it, because you can't just cut it to 6 foot, because it'll be a dead drop off.
Well, it's my feeling this board gave y'all the authority to go and work it. I think that authority still remains. As far as what I'm telling you, I don't think we're gonna have to pay them anything for it, and they were to leave it alone. And then we get that answer and we go in there and fix it. If we can get up to 6 feet, we could probably fix it. Probably. But see what kind of answer you can get out of CSX.
We will.
And go forward unless somebody else has got it better. I know I've already been getting phone calls to people that I have said, man, we are finally got something, we're gonna get this thing flattened out.
And I understand that it's not what we want, that's not what he reported to us, either it was gonna be mill, butt joints, and none of that happened. That was part of why that price was, the difference of what we were saying 5, and him coming back was, well, I had to bring in a milling machine, and had to mobilize it, and then he did none of it. I don't even think he tacked it. And without tacking, it's gonna start rattling on those ends too.
There's no motion.
It's not what we talked about doing, I will say that, so we're not proud of what happened at all, and we'll work to fix it.
Well, thank y'all for going out there and looking at it. I know I fuss about these roads, but I know you said y'all were going. Thank you for agreeing.
Yes. That's all I have.
What you got, Reggie?
I don't have nothing today.
Okay.
I saw this email about the repair, and I appreciate that being in.
The only thing I've done or turned over to cost the drainage issues they're working on now. We're looking at it.
Any other staff? No? Give me that.
Motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel, property, and pending litigation.
Motion by Commissioner Kiefer, second by Commissioner Deloach. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? We stand so adjourned. Let's go get it done.
So you gotta add,
Kind of with my
you gotta get some help.
All right, folks, we're back in regular session. Our last meeting, we had no executive session, so we had no executive session minutes to approve. Is there any other business to come before this board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Loper, second by Commissioner